Hello, hello. I'm trying to do this beatbox thing where they say we are Venom in the darkest possible voice, but I never succeed in
Hello.
real life. So I have to practice my beatboxing skills and saying we are Venom. Or I can say hello in a very dark.
Adrian doing voices is not something that I had on my bingo today.
You didn't, but I'm always good for a
I,
surprise, am I?
I can do voices well. You know, I make a mean Mickey Mouse.
Do it.
Oh boy, what do you want me to say, Adrian? We're a very good Walmart is going up. Everybody buy ply. This is not financial advice.
Huh. Everybody buy Wombatiums.
I think I
Uh,
can do Goofy yet. The Bible. You have to say with the T. Well, Matthew.
that's not so bad.
Aha.
Um,
Donald, I cannot say words. I can only make the sound. This is the problem of having nephews. You learn to make voices.
mm, good. Disney Dub King. I like that. Um, I'm not good at voices in general. I'm not even good at accents. Not even in German. I've never been good at that. So,
Well, Mickey
whatever.
seems to be the most universal one in most languages.
Is it Mickey or is it Steamboat Willie?
No, Mickey Mouse, not Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
Although
So
Steamboat Willie is now the public domain, right? He's no
yeah, exactly.
longer. Oh, yeah, cool.
Um, yeah, I hope everyone's okay. I mean, we already have a bunch of questions here and support requests that are supposed to be expedited, so we can totally forward those. But how was your the rest of your week? How was the weekend? How was your weekend, Pedro?
Well, I had a working one. We've been fixing things around the house. I've been remaking my setup, putting like insonorization, displays for my figurines, making the place feel more homey. How about yours, Adrian?
I got my second key light installed. My kids helped. So my lighting is a little bit better. I hope. Yeah, did a lot of stuff as well around the house. I mean, as soon as you have a house, you have to take care of it, right? So
Yeah.
that's a lot. And I've been basically just looking at this insect that died right next to me. Seems
Wow.
yesterday in my office room, and it's like this size. It looks a little bit like a mantis, but either it's a mantis or some kind of a massive grasshopper or whatever. So I've been trying to figure out what it was before I died. Do you have mantises?
Mantises.
Because
No,
here in Portugal, I see them regularly, pretty much, right? In Germany, they're very very rare. Um, but is this a very usual thing?
no, in Lisbon I've never gotten one, and here the worst thing I got is tiger mosquitoes, which I
Oh, they're bad.
hate with a deathly wish. So deathly that I would kill them all if I could. Um, but I
They're the
don't.
most useless species. Like useless in terms of nobody really wants them except for some bats or whatever. Um, yeah, mosquitoes are really like whatever, but I
Yeah.
mean the tiger ones are particularly nasty. There's one thing happening, I believe tomorrow actually, with the community mob meme coins. I think they're going live tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe somebody can clarify this. I'm actually pretty excited that this is finally uh, happening. So yeah, that's cool. I will be an early buyer upon the IDO. So um, Um, wow. So yeah, I think that's really cool. But I also wanted to do some advertisement for Janice's very own meme coin, which I found last week. So there's the SQJ token on Wax, apparently created and uh, built after Janice, our Janice is the sugar queen, exactly. Our player and community member, and so this is really cool. So for just a quick one, because that's going to be relevant with the community meme coins as well. So I'm doing a little shout out here before we start with the questions, so you have a little more time to actually get them all up and running.
Send them coming.
Out.
We are pointing them out.
So just let me quickly share my screen. There's this tool called Wax on Edge. So this is also co-run by NFT Blocks now. It was an independent project. And there's two cool features about Wax on Edge. The one is analytics. So you can basically see stats for all kinds of tokens. And their prices across a lot of different venues. So there's Wax USDC now, stablecoin. There's obviously Wombat. There's all of them, right? So there's 143 pages of tokens, and here, there's Sugar Queen, the SQJ token. So that's been performing really well, and this is the type of meme coins that we generally need now to go 10 or 50x from here, right? And then it's going to get really exciting. So look, if you were in on SQJ at the very beginning and bought at 0.02x, now you would have made a 7.5x already, right? Cool. That's
cool
exactly
value.
that's exactly what you want. So the other cool thing about Wax on Edge is the multi-venue swap, right? So you always get the best price if you want to buy whatever token here, right? Let's say KEK, whatever. You just put 10 Wax in here, and then you see kind of how this is going to get routed. They apply a little bit of a fee here, right? And this is a cool tool in general. So
that will make you a KEK billionaire.
Well, easily. KEK has not been performing so well, but whatever. It's a cool tool. So if you want to check out the community meme coins once they launch, and also whatever else is going on Launchbags, then this is the place. All right, then let's move into
let's start them questions.
Holger was telling me I don't even have music on.
Yes, today I thought you wanted to go with a more broody, gloomy, silent stream.
No, now I put it on. Sorry for that. I tuned down the volume, but I forgot to turn the music on. That's why nobody is has even mentioned this.
So let's kick it off. First question from AFA13. Why does no one answer my support question? Question from September 5th, 2024, number 68. AFA, let me take care of this for you. I'll send it right away to the support team and try to get an answer. If they answer me back, because they have a ton of them, I'll just tell you here on stream or tell them to get back to you. So we're already making progress.
It's so great to have the ticket numbers, so you can forward them directly.
That helps us a ton. And then it's a description of the problem, so I'm just going to paste it all to the team. I take off my pants and jacket, usually the best name in these questions. When are you going to fix this stuff with Atomic? The price bug has got to be criminal. It's false advertising. And when you have a wallet that whitelisted something, it never tells me what I was going to spend.
So we still have an issue with the prices displayed on Atomic Hub. I suppose that this is Wax. that you're talking about, right? Because I know we had an issue there, so that's still going on. So if did you confirm kind of what exactly happens? Because yeah, I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing, right? So you probably like if I read that correctly, you see a price for an item, but the offer might have changed its price, and so you're seeing the old one. Is that the case? Because that should obviously not happen. And I'm aware that we used to have this problem, but it shouldn't be there anymore. So maybe Pedro, at the same time, you can also forward that to the team.
Already doing.
To our CTO.
Whilst I'm doing this, I'll just post on the next one from Brent saying he heard in the AMA that, which was posted on YouTube, you said that Ply surely won't come in January 2025. Logically, it means there is a chance it will come as late as December 2024.
Well, I think there was an explicit question, right? And that's what I said. I don't think there's a chance it comes in December 2024 or this December, but earlier than that, because that's what we're working on. But like we said last week, we cannot at this stage confirm a final date yet. So I think somebody like explicitly mentioned this is going to be this year or something like that. So that's what I said. That's why I mentioned January 2025. It's not going to be January. Definitely going to be before that.
Well, thank you. And one for me on the slate. I will not say this name wrong again. On the slitted sheet, I said, what do I want in a meme coin? Well, for me, is virality. I love when meme coins have great content and that it's so shareable. It's easy to get holders in, and it's easy just to get talking about it. So for me, that's always what I want. It's for them to be fun. Hamster with everything that it had amazing content, and there was this huge expectation for it to be something amazing just from everything that it was generated. So for me, meme coins are always on the hook when they have amazing content to share. Adrian, what about you?
What's the best meme coin?
Oof, I'm not going to endure that discussion again. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said it a few weeks or months ago here on stream as well. I wasn't a big fan of meme coins altogether, right? I had some Doge, some early Doge from back in the day, but I've never gotten onto the SHIB bandwagon. I didn't get onto the Pepe bandwagon or whatever, right? Until I was in Dubai this year. And Dubai was a disaster, obviously, because it was flooded and nothing was really happening. So I just went to very few events, met very few people because it was not possible to get around the city. But one discussion I still remember, and that got me thinking about meme coins, was that they're essentially the capital for communities, right? And that I totally agree on, and that made me think about meme coins more, right? And I like that kind of statement, and then I started looking into them more. That they're essentially the fuel for communities and for people to basically rally behind a common thing, right? And this is what enables them, right? And this is so it's kind of a bilateral relationship. The communities enable the tokens enable the communities, and this is how you go. So yeah, I kind of see the point in meme coins, and especially if they start adding utility and so on. So but what you want in a meme coin is the ability to rally a community or a movement behind them, and like that's something that we've also been talking to Corey and Juan from Launchbacks about. if we were able to do something like that for any community, for any meme coin in the Wax community, this could become a massive enabler for Wax, right?
True.
Just like it's been for Solana, now to a certain extent Tron, Base, Degen, whatever, right? Been a lot of enablers for larger use cases like DeFi on top, like on top of the network, obviously then DeFi, right? Because then there's a lot of trading, a lot of liquidity pools. So Solana is basically self-propelled by meme coins now. So that's good. I think that's great. That's a great way of enabling communities, right? So I think that's cool. So let's do this.
Yes, sir. So moving on to the next one. When are you fixing the NFTs in treasures? Says Jimmy Wombat, Triple P.
So I literally had a discussion with the team this morning about it. We're now done implementing the change, right? So the change is okay. So I don't now I'm thinking, I thought you probably mean the boxes to PAX transition, because that was a frequent question. Now I'm not sure whether that's what you meant, Jimmy Wombat. Maybe you meant something else. When it comes to the boxes, like I said, we're pretty much done with that. So we're just configuring kind of what the odds should be for packs rather than boxes, right? And then we'll be good to go. So I expect that to happen this week. When it comes to the NFTs, the kind of creator-made NFTs that we have in the Dungeon Chest account that are being distributed randomly, I had a long discussion with Matt about it, and it was a little bit funny because I was like, hey, if people prefer to not get anything over something that feels useless, well, then we can stop doing that altogether, basically, and we don't have to have a debate, right? Because of course, many times when creators put NFTs in there, then these will not be the most valuable NFTs. These are not going to be Bored Ape types, right? Because they basically, this is what this Dungeon Chest thing was initially intended to do, is essentially be a method to promote creators and their collections by giving out stuff for free on top of what you get anyway. So maybe there's also a little bit of a misunderstanding, because if you get an NFT from the chest that is not a box, not a fragment, right, but one of these creator-made ones, then this is not in competition with you getting any of the Dungeon Master NFT or packs, right? So this is always on top. So you don't have to worry. This is not taking away of your chances of getting a pack or a box or a fragment or whatever. This just comes on top. So that being said, Matt was saying, but we still need some rules because you don't want to kind of have a lot of spam. Well, right now we don't have a lot of spam. Yeah, I thought, okay, let's there is no real issue right now. But it seems that this is still not very popular to just get random stuff. So Matt and I discussed that we'll set up some rules for what kinds of NFTs should be in there, and then those will basically just be burnt. If we receive NFTs that we don't want to distribute, we'll be checking them. If anyone wants to basically complain about them, we'll basically be burning them from the Dungeon Chest, and either send them back or burn them from the Dungeon Chest account.
Yes, sir. One a little bit for me is, how do I get information without Discord and Telegram? Again, from Jimmy Wombat. Social media is usually the way to go. If you don't feel like being on our Telegram, if you have been banned from Discord, as I have seen on the chat, the usual ways, talking to Matt to see about an appeal. There's always a reason for us to ban someone from the Discord. It's just not out, it's never out of thin air. And Matt has a strong record of everything and all the bans. So if you have been banned, if that is the case, just reach out. Matt is actually good at his job. I defend him staunchly because he cares deeply about this community and the work that he does. Also, our amazing mods team, they always help and they're always there to talk. I mean, Prince Paradox is here and he's actually doing it as we speak. So I just wanted to get this out in the open. Is if you have been banned, there's a reason. If the one that has the reason is mad, but as you can see, sometimes answers take time. He has a lot of things to do, a lot of work to do. So he doesn't answer always instantly, but he will answer. It may just take a little bit of his time. Sorry, Adrian, I really just wanted to put this up there. I want to buy Wombat from the app itself, but the price impact is high and rates are higher than LBank. Will this be sorted anytime soon?
Yeah, that's. I tried this myself because I was getting this feedback. The question is, how are you trying to buy that? Are you trying to buy that via swap or via the buy crypto feature through Banksa essentially? Because we always need to know which one, right? Which way you're trying, because then we can have a look at this and see why that is, right? We are currently, and we had that complaint about LBank, for instance, that the price was off last week. The price shouldn't be off anymore, right? Because we spoke to our market makers and they're taking care of that. But if there's any issue, then we're happy to look into it and fix it. So if you have an issue, just swap. Then we'll look into this and we'll fix that, right? So we'll talk to our market makers to get that fixed. Sometimes it's we have you have to watch your suppliers as well, right? So you need to check if they're doing their job, even if you have SLAs and so on. So sometimes things run out of balance, essentially.
We have Dangas Magus, love the name again, saying card issues broke my heart and my wallet yesterday. Super bummed, submitted a ticket, but curious if this issue has been addressed on stream. And as a follow-up, card showed I was about to spend 450 wax, transaction charge 4,200. Wow.
Yeah. This sounds horrible. So we'll definitely look into this. It would be great if we could, if you could get if you have submitted a support request, that's great. Maybe in order for us to track it better, you could also share the ticket ID. So I can take care of or take a look personally, or have somebody or Pedro have somebody take care of it personally, so that we look at this. I'm not sure. You probably I don't imagine you have a screenshot of all the stuff, because that obviously just happens. I'm yet to experience this. If that's an issue, like displaying false wrong prices, then this is really bad. And I understand this is really bad, so we need to fix that ASAP. I was just not assuming that we would have any remaining issues.
Dangas Magas shared the ticket with us. I'll take it to the support team right away and we'll keep an eye on it. Thank you, Dangas Magas.
And sorry if that's been sorry if that's been causing issues, but that's not just an issue that's costing you money, right? So we'll see to it how we can.
He who takes off his pants and jackets, can we make the chest a special place? I recall getting items for a blend for a collection, but the blend ended almost a year prior, and or the collection creator wasn't making anymore. Maybe we make a Wombat store and we get a credit, or we go from there?
Special place. I'm not sure I understand the last part about the Wombat store and we get a credit. So you mean instead of getting a random NFT, you would get some, let's say, points that you can redeem for a specific NFT, and there's just a storefront where you can choose your NFT. Is that right? That's a nice idea. Would have to think about it, but it's generally a nice idea. What can I say? It's, it's I really how this transformed. I find that quite funny because, like I said, originally it was just meant as, hey, we get you something extra every once in a while that's free. That doesn't really. There's no downside to it, right? And there was another comment, I don't know from whom, basically stating, look, this is just 5 MP. So on the slitted sheet, I said, this is a 5 MP shit NFT. Yes, but you got it for free, right?
Yes.
It is a 5 MP shit NFT, but you got it for free. So, is that bad? Is that worse than not getting it? And if you say yes, it's worse than not getting it, right? And if this is common sense, then I see. To me, it's like I'm kind of always. I can't say happy, but yes, I prefer getting something over nothing from the chest. That's just my personal one. Pedro, how would you feel about that? Would you rather get something than nothing?
Yeah, but I'm just from the new comment. I for instance, the reasoning behind the question again for me is that if this was free or it was taking the spot of something else in the chest, so if we just place this in lieu of something else that might have more utility. But for me, free stuff, I'm the free stuff guy. I mean, I have the smallest free stuff in my house, so I love free stuff.
But I see that. So if there's like severe competition on the chest, or like on top NFTs that come from the Dungeon Chest account, right? That are not dungeon items NFTs. I would see that if we had a lot of kind of spam in there, like thousands of one NFT that would basically block other NFTs that you might get. But there isn't that much in there, and we're dependent on the creators to actually submit NFTs there. So if there is nothing, then you would get nothing. So if there is something, even if it's not valuable, then you have a chance of getting something. And so that does not replace anything, right? So I would say, as it currently is, it's not very harmful. It's not very useful either. I agree with that, right? I'm just wondering kind of about the overall sentiment here, because it always feels to me like like it's harmful, right? But I'm also Mr. Free Stuff, so it's like.
We have a question from Mac on Twitter, or X. I'll say Twitter till the end of times. Hey guys, nice to be in the live. I have a couple of questions, but I'll start with market cap. Is the market cap of Fly just going to be the exact amount of market cap of Wombat and was, or is it going to be more or less? Thank you. Mac, Adrian will answer, but either way, I suggest you read our white paper. Most of the informations are there. I'll just drop the link. Not that one?
Not that one.
It
We
isn't?
can't answer that because there's no answer. But it's still great to have people on Twitter joining these sessions and asking questions. I love that. Not that I don't love the Twitch guys here, but it's just
new to have from Twitter.
Yeah, and it's much less frequent, right? So
my bad. I thought it was.
No, because
I mean, there's no so many times.
There's no real answer to this, right? To this question. This question is, okay, so what is the market cap of Play gonna be, right? And what we can't talk about market caps because the market cap is a result of what the market does, right? Of how a token is priced by the market. And we don't know that, right? But what's for sure is that the market cap of the merged token will be at least the sum of the original market caps, right? Because that's what makes sense. It's just that we don't know, right? And our goal is, of course, for the market cap to be a lot higher than the than the sum of the two. So that's why we're preparing meticulously, and we're trying to get everything in the right place. So the answer should be that the sum of the two market caps should be the floor, because the amount of unlocked tokens will be the same or corresponding to the amount of unlocked tokens of both Wombat and WAS, right? So both the market cap and the fully diluted valuation should be like the floor for those two should be the sum of the two market caps and fully diluted valuations. But we're aiming a lot higher, because that's one of the reasons why we're doing this whole thing, to basically be able to start a new brand and print a new chart. Thanks for the question, Mac.
Happy to see you here. A new from Brent. There are some gaming coins with 100 million plus in market cap. In my humble opinion, Spielworks deserves to be there too. That's why I'm holding Wombat until now, even it is so painful, even if it's so much pain. What do you think Ply needs to do to get there?
There's a short-term answer and a long-term answer to this, and I always prefer to talk about the long-term answer, because if you look at, Hamster Combat is a great example, but there's also a lot of other gaming coins. Nowadays, with the tokenomics that we have, they're very short-term oriented, right? The tokenomics for tokens that are launching new, right? And how is that? Well, people get in on those tokens in private sales and pre-sales, and they basically get an unlock at TGE, right? That was not the case, for instance, if you look at our original white paper for Wombat from 2.5 years back, when we put that out, there was no unlock at TGE for Wombat at all, for any kind of early investors. So there was very little sell pressure on the token, right? But what happens nowadays is that anyone who got tokens early on tries to, first, second, sell as much as they can so that they recoup their money, right? And if the token has made them like 10x and they get a 10% unlock, right, then they get their money back on the first day after the token launches. And that's what everybody wants. But that also means that there's a lot of sell pressure on the first day and beyond, so that you have this it's not even a bell curve, because it's very steep and then it basically declines, right? So you see that in pretty much all of the tokens that have been launched recently. It's very crazy. So we're trying to avoid this kind of stuff, right? We're with Play, we're thinking very long term. So the tokenomics, like the token unlocks and so on, that's not going to change. So the token is going to be out there. It's basically the sum of the individual tokens already. So we'll be working on the existing tokenomics. So we're not generally scared about that, right? It's just to talk about kind of what the market currently does. So then there's the short-term thing, and that's about and that's also related to how these markets work, is essentially that you want to create as much hype about the token as possible before or around launch, right? And that will always stand. You always want that. It's always better to have had the hype, and now the hype is over, than to never have had the hype, right? So it's kind of what everyone wants.
It's always that English, to have had, to not have had. Sorry, I just always find it.
I have no idea whether I got it right, but who cares, right? In writing, you could think about it. That's what we're aiming for as well, right? We want to create some hype around it. Just like there's a few examples of tokens that got rebranded. The most recent for me is. Good example for that is the Fetch AI rebrand, token merge with other projects, right? And that's also obviously big. It's Fetch AI merged their token with Singularity Net and Ocean Protocol, and that's probably the most complex token upgrade merge that I've ever seen, because it's 3 different companies that actually merged the token into one, right? So that they did a pretty good job at announcing this. Well, obviously they had a bunch of governance issues to solve because it's 3 different companies, and then they basically did the merge, right? And the token has been doing really well, especially afterwards, right? The Fetch AI token, and although the original holders got diluted, but then again, there's also a lot more utility for it. So I think that if we do a good job on that and basically communicating and hyping things up, then I would agree that we should be in that range. But I won't not making any promises here because I can't, right? So that's the second thing. That's the hype kind of. The third thing is long-term a long-term working ecosystem, right? And I think this is where we have the best quote unquote track record, and that's where we can actually sustain a lot. But this is also a little bit of a back and forth, right? Obviously, if the token price is good, then that means that the company can, well, monetize better, have ways of getting capital in by the means of the token. That doesn't necessarily have to mean that you sell the token, but I mean, obviously, there's companies who do that. But there's other ways, right, of capitalizing on the token when the token price is good. So and that can be then self-propelling, right? So you have more money. That means you can run a better business, which means that the token price goes up, which means that you have more money, and so on. So that's the ideal case, right? So that's kind of the stock market case. You can fundraise better if your stock is up. You can issue new stocks or whatever you want to do as a company, and then get more capital, and so that you can run your business better, right? So that's kind of the stock market equivalent for a token, and that is where everyone wants to go, and this is where we want to go as well, right? And it's just that the long-term stuff is oftentimes superseded by the short-term stuff, right? So if you don't have the hype, then there's no use in having a healthy economy, because this is if somebody wants to sell their tokens for whatever reason, right, then they just do, and that brings their price down because there's no hype, right? So I would say I would say that it's a combination of all of these, and I think we have a pretty good plan of where we're going to go and how, and there's going to be a good connection between. I mean, that's something that we're working on, right? Is having a better connection between the business and the token. So that's a step-by-step thing, and the Playmite protocol is going to help with that. The games that we're going to launch are going to help with that. A few other changes that we have in mind, whatever's in the white paper, all of that is supposed to basically help with the connection between the business and the token. But at the same time, we want to improve the business, grow the business, and have a stronger position overall in the Web3 gaming market. So that's what we're working on at the same time, right? And having the hype and having the token valuation, the token price, that helps with that. So that's a very long answer, but I hope that covers your question.
That was.
No, it didn't really answer the question.
A long but goodie. Sorry, guys. As I told Adrian, I have to leave because today I have to pick up my son. My wife needs me to take off this job today. So thank you all for your time here.
I should have seen that earlier. Now everyone's disappointed to not see your face anymore.
Sorry. But that now that I have the black wombat, someone will win because of me, because now I have the poop power.
I was live when you did that, but I think we actually got 19 now on Twitchy Tides.
No, just pick up. My wife today has a very important meeting, and she asked me if I could take over. So, and thankfully, Spillworks allows me to be able to pick up my son when needed. So, thank you, Adrian, for the amazing work conditions I have.
Even if that means that you can't be on stream with us anymore.
I know. Thank you, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Adrian, I start 2 more questions for you for the chat, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Pedro, for joining, even if it was a short stint. So now you're gonna have to be with me alone.
Yes. Talk soon.
Did he slap someone again? Now I
No,
saw
no,
it.
no, no, no.
Okay. Every so often something runs out. Adrian, it would be great if you have one of your team members monitoring either token balances on the account for payout or RAM or CPU. These created unnecessary workloads for mods or staff to process payout manually. It's also created unnecessary anxiety on the winners when they are not getting their payouts. These could be fairly minor in face value, but if on a regular basis, they're eroding the brand company reputation and trust over time. I agree. Truth is, Conspir Vince, thanks for pointing this out. We do have monitoring, we did have monitoring, or we do have monitoring for. We thought all of these. Turns out it's not all of them. Then the monitoring broke. Let's put it that way. For some time, and then you don't see, but you don't know that you don't see, because it's like the alert. It's not the monitoring; the alerting actually broke. So we didn't get these notifications, so we didn't see for a while. So that's why some of these things were taken care of after the fact happened instead of proactively, because obviously the thresholds, or we have thresholds for those things. The alerts come before it actually runs out, right? So we have like sometimes it's hard to actually define them properly. And then what happened is that some of the things actually spiked or increased in price, so we would run out faster. So the thresholds didn't actually match, right? So you would get the alert, but then before you could actually do something about it, especially on weekends, the thing would have actually run out already. Anyway, that's on us. That's entirely on us. And you're totally right. We need to improve on that. We need to have bigger margins for this, bigger thresholds or better thresholds, so that we don't constantly run out of these things. Especially when it's payouts, because that was, again, I'm not sure what happened there, because we typically have enough buffer, enough margin in there, but that's something we need to look at. Shoko Crypto, I would like to suggest something with the new token play. I think it will be helpful for community and company. So feel free to suggest. You know where to find me, but you can also do it here. Sounds like a value variable in your programming. Well, it's a little bit funny, or it's not actually funny, right? But it always sounds very easy to actually get that right? So I was like, oh, whatever, just set it to a value, just set it to 80%, right? And if it runs out with 80%, but 80% of what, right? For instance, RAM for dungeon items, it's a classic, right? So we're using 200 megabytes of RAM on dungeon items. So if you set that to 80%, then you would have to basically buy 50,000 wax worth of RAM at once. And with the volatility in the market, that's not necessarily what you want to do, right? Because if you just another example is the CPU, right? We have a few 100,000 of wax stake because we don't want to have too much exposure to wax price in staked, right? So we don't want to have 5 million wax staked because we don't need 5 million. So how do you do that, right? And we've been fine. We've been fine for a year, and then suddenly it spikes, and we run out of CPU on these accounts. So then you want to stake more or get more on a short notice. So anyway, coming back to that, it's more difficult than just saying, okay, let's just use percentage, right? But again, that's just me talking here and giving excuses. It shouldn't sound like this is excuses. It should sound like an explanation, a bit of an explanation, a little bit of a discussion about this, but not a cheap excuse, because yes, it is on us, and we need to fix it. We need to look at these thresholds and basically take care of them so that they can run. So we're able to run smoothly, even if wax RAM price spikes, and so you're not affected by this. Yeah, the daily rewards for staking. I think when we first launched Wax in Wombat, and we basically because we did not make any Wax in revenue, right? Or we didn't hold any Wax. We had to buy Wax, and I think the average price that we spent to buy the Wax that is staked, or was staked initially, was what, $35, 30, 40, something like that, right? So this was really expensive. So this was worth something, right? So even if you get all the rewards, that has not made up for the price decline, right? But like, by far not. So sometimes you don't want to have certain exposure, right? Because it might be detrimental to your business, and big time. And I mean, Wax is very specific about that. Wax has had a particularly bad performance, right, over the last few years against Bitcoin. I mean, we're very close to the all-time low. We're at 50 Satoshis. We're around maybe 54 or something like that, right? So Bitcoin has been outperforming Wax. Wax really lagging behind. We really need more Wax to do better on that end, right? And then it's also worth staking more. But yeah, I personally like staking, right? From a personal perspective, I've done well on Telos staking. I think I made 300-400% since 2020 when I first staked my Telos, so can't complain. But with Wax, I don't think that would have worked that well. Choco Crypto, create an EVM address, ETH, Polygon, and every EVM address who use the same address, and the token is deployed there as well. Create a Wax, EOS, etc. wallet as well with the same purpose as the EVMs, which is to be able to bridge between chains securely. And with a maximum of 24 hours, it charges a fee of 1% or 0.5% for each transaction, either Wax EOS to EVM or EVM to Wax EOS. So if I want to exchange 1 million tokens in Ethereum for 1 million Wax tokens and use it in all the stores where I can buy Spielworks products in Wax or EOS, I can do it without having to go through SX and pay the fee to them. This way I can contribute to the ecosystem without having to contribute to others. Is this understood? Yes, understood. No, it's all good. I think this was brought up by someone already. Maybe it was you. No, I don't think it was you. But I think it's a good idea. So this is basically a centralized version of a bridge, right? So it's kind of like what Wax do, right? So this will probably end up being the only alternative for us to actually keep this running properly, so that we don't run into bridging issues all the time, right? Because as it currently stands, the bridges are causing a lot of problems, and obviously anything we would build here would also have the potential of causing problems because it's a centralized system. So any centralized system would have the potential of not being available, not working properly, right? And that could also cause a lot of anxiety. Been there, done that. When I, for instance, first used the IMX bridge years back, right? After Immutable X had launched, I bridged my ETH, and this is a centralized bridge, right? It was run by Immutable, and it took 6 hours, 12 hours, something like that, to actually get the ETH bridged. And I wasn't used to that. I was like, hey, this is a layer 2. This should be really fast, right? And that created a lot of anxiety. So I had to wait until the next day and come back, and then I saw that my things were bridged, right? But I mean, that's still better. And this is where I agree with you, Choco Crypto. It's still better than not having a solution, or the solution being very expensive, right? So I'd really prefer to have people who are professionals at running bridges to run the bridges. But if that doesn't work, or if we can't get the offering that we want to have, then we'll have to somehow offer it ourselves, right? That's kind of always been our mindset with anything, right? If we can get anyone who's a professional at doing something to do it for us, and we basically just package this up and just provide the UI, the front end for it, and everything else goes through somebody who's like reliable, certified, yada yada yada, supplier of the service, just like Fiat on and off ramp, right? Then yeah, we would rather prefer to have somebody else do it for us, right? But if they can't do this thing that we want to do, then we'll have to find a different solution. Yeah, so that's that. A fun fact, maybe it's funny, maybe it's not. Now I forgot what I wanted to say. Sorry. I was having a story about a bridge. Another story, but I forgot. Anyway. But yeah, that's no, it was about Fiat on off ramp, actually. Back in the day, we had an offer to actually get a license to run Fiat on an off ramp, and that was back in 2019, I believe, when the new regulation kicked in Germany. So we could have applied for a license to actually run financial services and be our own Fiat on off ramp. It would have been great. It's just that this is a business of its own, right? So there is a reason why MoonPay is a massive business. That's all they do, originally at least. So it's not like you want to be doing all these things yourself, right? Even if you can, doesn't mean that you want to run it yourself. But yeah, with this one, I agree. There should be at least a simple solution that's kind of maybe even semi-automated, where we have time to review. Because the one thing that we need to avoid is that there's bigger security loopholes in there, right? So that tokens get minted without actually being allowed to get minted. Because this is why bridges are so difficult. I think most of the hacks that were not on centralized exchanges were actually on bridges, right? There's a lot of bridge hacks, and it's really hard to get it done properly in a decentralized way. It's a lot easier to get it done properly in a centralized way, but it's hard to exclude all the things. And I mean, you're pointing it out yourself. In Wax, I can put the memo with my EVM chain, and every Wax user connected to Wombat app will receive the EVM tokens in the EVM connected to the same account. So yeah, that's kind of the biggest issue from an Ethereum perspective. If you want to do it in a decentralized way and you don't know where to send it to, right? Obviously, in EOS and Wax, you have the memo, so you can specify, just like in the P tokens bridge, for example, you can specify which address you want these tokens to deposit to on the EVM on Ethereum, let's say. The other way around, it doesn't work like that, right? So you can't tell the Ethereum tokens where they should go on EOS or Wax, right? So what normal bridge, or also what a centralized exchange would do, is they would create a separate deposit address for any let's say EOS address or Wax address, right? So if you want to send your 1 million Wombat tokens to XYZ, then this would create the bridge would create an address for this. So any deposit to this address would be credited on the Wax side. It would be credited to the XYZ account, right? So that's how you know. There's a standard for that on Bitcoin and Ethereum, how you can create these addresses on the fly. It's not a problem, but I mean, it's still additional effort, and you can't just do it on map it to a single address, right? So what Choco Crypto is suggesting that we would map these accounts using the Wombat account. So this would only be usable from inside Wombat, right? So again, that comes with a little bit of a drawback, because what happens if you don't have a Wax account, right? Or how do you know whether you want this to be credited to your Wax or your EOS account? So there's a few questions that need to be solved there. But if we just allow, so there could be like one address that you send to if you want to be bridged to EOS, and one that if you want this to be bridged to Wax, and so on. So there's all figure outable, but it is not like there, right? It's not entirely without having to think about it. Such a robot is suggesting for the Gamer Cave collection. We have some plans for the Gamer Cave collection. We're working on this. But anyway, next blend monitor, and then the monitor could be blended with the Wombat Streamer 2024 NFT, the one here on Twitch for channel points. Yes, and then and the standard monitor or Wombat Streamer NFT monitor could be blended with the PC. I like the idea to use NFTs that we've been putting out. Oh, scary. I was taking a screenshot and my computer froze. So I like the idea of combining this with stuff that we already have. We have something similar in mind. Not the monitor, the screen thing, something like that. But there's also a little bit of a bigger plan, and this is going to come out, I hope, latest by season start. Yeah, that was what I was saying. Like the CPU stuff was totally different. I don't want to find excuses. So you're totally right. I don't want to even debate. And you can in a smart contract. Yes, of course you can in a smart contract. But then you need to write a smart contract, and that smart contract needs to be audited, and you need to get it right. Right. So this is gonna be not better. Right, especially on EVM. Carlo, 14th of September, 2:30. I opened the platinum pack of season 2 to date. I have not received any NFT or even the pack itself. Whew. Okay. That sounds bad. But I mean, in general, that is kind of beyond our control because this is on-chain stuff, right? But you should not have lost your pack, and especially a platinum pack. This is horrible. So we'll definitely have to check. Have to check. Brent 3. Sorry. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Brent. Hi, Brent. Dear Adrian, some leave, some stay. Please kindly reward us, your loyal supporters, by pumping play price soon. We endure this pain. I think we deserve to be happy. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit difficult to talk about pumping the price or dumping tokens or whatever on stream like that, right? And it would be so great if I could just go and say, hey, we'll be pumping play or Wombat 5x tomorrow, right? There's groups who do that, right? Yeah, that's we're not that, but there's not a lot more than having the play price or the Wombat price up 10x, or 20x, or 100x there isn't a lot more that I would wish for than that. So we're working on this. Yeah, pump, whatever pump means, right? Get it up. Let's have more value for it. Oh, thanks for the suggestion, Robot. Maybe that was the problem. But it's really hard to imagine that a pack would just vanish, right? And you would get nothing. And because who do you send a support request to? I mean, it's in this case, it's our NFT, sure. But if that happens just generically, who do you blame for that? Do you blame the creators of atomic assets, of atomic packs, or the RNG folks, the block producers? I don't know. What's weird. What's being done about scam? So sorry. On to the next question. I take off my pants and jacket. What's being done about scammers that use Wombat accounts? There has been a lot of talk on some Discords about scammers that are exclusively using Wombat to do nefarious things with your wallets, since they are the last truly free Wax wallet. Does Wombat even care about it, or is it just that crypto is the Wild West? I would think that if these accounts were blocked from being created, your resource uses might be lessened. Do you have someone on your team to look for these? This is a really difficult one, and I'll just hide it so that I can see myself and you can see me. This is a bit difficult because how do you block them from being created, right? Yes, we do have mechanisms in place, but if you know what you want to do and you are professional, and you spend a lot of time researching how you going back and forth and how you can make sure that you don't get blocked, then this can be really hard to impossible to actually avoid, right? So like, how do you do that? Like, what kind of rule is there? How do we identify a scammer? How do we tell apart a scammer from an actual user to basically just come on and create a Wombat account? And we actually want people to create Wax accounts with their Wombat, with like new users who are new to Wax. They are supposed to just go on Wombat and get a free Wax account, right? That's cool. So some of them will be scammers, but do you want to punish the people who are legit by punishing the scammers? That's a big question, right? So doing that pre-account creation might be difficult because we don't know, right, who's going to turn out a scammer. After the fact, it's even more difficult because we're officially a non-custodial wallet, right? So we cannot block the use of the wallet. We cannot say, no, you cannot transact with this wallet, or you cannot export your private key, because that would make us inherently custodial if we could block people from using their accounts. So on the blockchain level, we're not allowed. We could technically do that, at least from inside Wombat, right? We could technically restrict access to your account, but from a legal perspective, we're not allowed to, because otherwise we would become custodial. And that would come with some restrictions on who would have to KYC everyone, for instance, right? And I don't think that most people want to be KYC'd just in order to use the wallet, for instance. So this is a difficult one, right? How do you go about this? We do have mechanisms. We do have people looking at that. We do have a lot of fraud prevention. But as soon as people have done that, have basically scammed somebody else and hold the account, there's no way. It's like kind of it's like when you use Anchor for this, right? If you have the account that you import into Anchor, Anchor will not restrict access. It's a tool, right? Or any other wallet, MetaMask, for instance, right? They won't ban you. They won't restrict access to your account because they can't. From a legal perspective, this is really difficult, right? So if we can have a follow-on discussion on this. Like, is there anything you suggest? Is there any pattern that we can see in them? Because then that would make it easier. But patterns are easy to switch up, right? Patterns are easy to change by scammers if they want. So now we could boil it down to: do we want people to pay for Wax accounts? Very legit question, right? We wanted to keep it up to be for free for as long as we can, and of course that impedes or impacts our resource usages. But we haven't had the feeling so far that this goes out of hand from a kind of balance perspective, new actual legit users versus illegal fraudsters, whatever. If we ever have the feeling that this goes out of hand, then we will totally restrict that somehow. But yeah, it's a hard topic, and we've been in that for 5 years now. So there's no awesome solution for this. We even tried with AI, like machine learning. Let's not call it AI. We tried with machine learning to identify people based on certain things. This was horrible. The results were so bad. We would ban a lot of people who ended up being legit, right? That like it was really bad. The results were bad. Choco Crypto, let us know how you feel. How do you feel today, Adrian? I mean, do you feel good with the future of the company? Do you see the sun after the storm, or do you still see a lot of dark clouds in paradise? If I look outside, it's actually sunny. So I think the market was really tough, right? And it doesn't really show in the Bitcoin price necessarily. The Bitcoin price is a good indicator, but it doesn't show the whole truth. And I spoke about it a little bit earlier. The market was bad in the sense that people got in on a lot of tokens, like to be launched token projects, and they invested a lot of money, and then the money was locked, and the token launches got delayed. A lot of token launches got delayed, right? Even like super short notice, and like I've been telling that to somebody else today. I think about 14 or so of our partners, closer friends, and whatnot have delayed their token launches instead of like having launched already. Like some of them were planning to launch in April or in May, and they still haven't launched, right? And what that means is that a lot of quote unquote money is stuck, right, in these projects. So there's a lot of people who don't invest anymore. And if a token launches, then people want to get their money out as soon as possible in order to be able to invest again.
Do you think I would leave you alone? Not a chance.
It was a quick pickup.
Yes, I drove like a maniac.
Just to get back in time for so you want to be on the Twitchy tides, right? You want to poop.
Of course, I have to poop now.
So I was just trying to answer Choco Crypto's question. So let's stay serious at this point, okay?
Serious face.
And so this is how you can see the market was in a bad shape, right? And a lot of projects were affected by that in Web3 gaming, outside of Web3 gaming overall. There is definitely light at the end of the tunnel from a market perspective. Let's see how October is going to treat us. I really hope it's going to be in October. Some people were already like predicting, hey, we might hit 100K this quarter, this month, whatever, for Bitcoin. That would actually spark like new all-time highs, would actually spark a lot of liquidity coming into altcoins, because then people start cashing out as well, right? So that would be great. So I think we're getting there. So that's from an overall market perspective. That's a big factor for us as well, especially because we're looking to be more Web3 rather than less Web3, right? Our hybrid model. Hey, can you mute yourself when you type? Because your typing is very, very loud.
You are correct. I will. My apologies.
So that's been a definite factor. So one of our advantages over the last few years was that we had a hybrid model, right, of Web 2, Web 3. We have a lot of games, so we're acquiring users in Web 2 and so on. So during the bear market, this was a definite advantage, right, because we weren't as dependent on token price, as dependent on whatever, right? On NFTs and hype and whatnot, but we had a solid business model. But if you then try to prepare for the bull market, you have to be more exposed to the market, right? That's why we're looking for a better market overall, and I think we're on a really, really good path. So it's very, very stressful right now. It's a lot of work, a lot of change inside, outside the company. Pedro nods. He knows what I'm talking about. There's a lot of change from a structural perspective, but also a lot of stuff on our plates, a lot of things that we need to do. So maybe we're a little overly ambitious with all the things that we wanted to do. So we're not getting all of it done at a pace that we wanted to do, and at the same time transform the company, and at the same time waiting for the market to improve and whatnot, right? But just looking at what we have at hand and the possibilities and the things that are going to happen, I feel really, really good about it. And I also feel really good about what that's going to mean for all of us, right? Including the employees of the company, but also the community. But that's me, right? You asked me. I'm not basically advertising anything. That's not kind of financial advice or whatever. That's not a promise that it's going to be awesome. But I feel really good about it if I look at kind of the mid and long term perspectives and what's going to happen, what's at hand, right? So yeah, that's
And
how
we
I
have
feel.
a strong, tight, new group of people. I mean, our colleagues, the people who are working in the team, they're good, they're talented, and they really want to bring this forward. We're here. We're trying our best to be here.
I think I just made a funny face when you started talking,
You
because
did. You did.
I heard you say Thai nudes, and
What?
I
What?
didn't know what you were talking about. So
Just to answer before our next topic, this is my keyboard. Yes, it's a mechanical ducky keyboard. He makes a lot of noise. I like typewriters, so that's why I like a clickety clack when I'm writing.
it's just freaking annoying on calls.
Yes, my apologies. It's just because we've been pushing some messages toward support, and that's why I clickety clack a lot.
When one bet on
Wombat.
TipCC, what do we need to do in order to get one bet on TipCC? Then we'll get it on TipCC. No problem.
Las Vegas Apes asks if we given up breeding on Worlds. It's been over 2 years for now.
It's been no. I mean, breeding in a way, we haven't given up on it, but we didn't. So originally, the plan was to launch that to bridge the time until we actually launch Worlds, right? But if we had launched breeding by the time we had planned it originally, then we would have ended up with so many characters by now that still don't have any use. That this would have been even worse. That's what we felt, right? No, we haven't given up on Worlds. We actually have a game concept that for the first Worlds playable, that's outside of kind of the management of the assets, right? So this is basically just being fleshed out and then built, right? And I think it's going to be really cool. It's just that this is going to be a step-by-step thing. It's not going to be like a one big launch. We're going to be releasing individual steps at a time. And yes, we're not happy. We're not proud of the long wait. Definitely not. And I appreciate, even it's not always easy to answer these questions. And this, my single biggest embarrassment is the whole Worlds thing. And I keep saying that, right? And then that's a very honest answer here. And obviously, I'm always afraid of Las Vegas Ape coming up here and asking about it. But I still appreciate that you do that, Las Vegas Ape, and don't stop. Keep us accountable. Keep me accountable for it.
From Robot, another suggestion. I think you are creating the creator portal for partner collections at the moment. What about integrating the daily partner chest NFT into this? So creators need to follow rules and activate their NFTs for daily chests. Also, the Atomic Hub sets should be taking off Atomic Hub, in my opinion. The trading rewards are enough. Plus, the hopefully upcoming adventure game. Put the partner sets and daily NFTs in the creator portal. Put the creator portal into Wombat app. Won't play as POC.
That's a good idea with the partner collections in the portal. So we could even live mint them, right? If we were to take the minting. I mean, I'm not saying that's what I want to do, right? I'm just saying that this would be a possibility that creators could say, hey, if you want, you can hand out more of these NFTs and they don't have to pre-mint them, but we actually mint them, so we would actually also pay for the RAM on that end. So I think that's a good idea. So I definitely made a note.
Wow, that was intense. Why are there drops for sidekicks of projects that have been rugged or are no longer active, but active projects like mine, sidekick drops have been removed? Canvas, can you give us a little bit more detail?
No, I think I know what Canvas is talking about. What we did, they're not removed, they're just hidden. And this was mainly, we left the sidekick drops open for the ones that had sales, right? And we should clean it up and just hide all of them so that they're not in the way. Just that we did a cleanup a while ago and cleanup of sorts, so that we don't have hundreds of open drops in there. But we should probably hide the remaining ones that haven't sold anything in a while. That's the only reason. Nothing against you. Nothing personal here.
Okay. Please do review. It's been months. We're always getting to these kinds of things. What did I miss whilst I was gone, Adrian?
A lot, as always.
I was gone for 25 minutes.
Like 35.
The Twitchy Tides hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened. No. We had enough to do. So I'm just realized I'm basically trailing like a lot of.
Sorry, but I'll pick them up from you. So, from Las Vegas Apes, when MP and Total Game Reset, this is the only way you're going to save your game.
I think Bean Tom Bob was in a way answering this. So I think that a bunch of people would really, really, really hate that. So I think, I mean, you're right in a sense that actual new players are having a really, really hard time playing the catch-up game in Dungeon Master, right? So this is a game that's mostly circled around people who have been playing the game, and they have totally different demands, right, than people who start playing. So I think that a lot of the existing players would basically just quit and hate us if that's what we did, right? We are thinking about what to do, right? There's the league concept that might help a little bit with that, so that there's new players have an easier time. We're having thoughts about more seasonal effects, and about kind of different gameplay, like the clan gameplay, or even single player PvP or whatever, that would allow people to actually catch up on a different level, right? I don't think that at this stage resetting the game entirely would be very, very helpful. For anyone who's trying to catch up, yes, but for anyone who has been in the game, no. But hey, maybe like there was also the concept of servers that we had, right? That we thought about. How about you can actually there's a new server, new universe, whatever we call that, right? As opposed to leagues, so that you could choose which one you want to play in. After all, so that we basically have a reset without having a reset, right? But I'm not sure about kind of the pure. Let's reset the entire game and screw everyone who has spent a lot of time and money. Screw them over. So.
Meantime, Bob reassures you that Webian himself would leave the game if there was a resale.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that.
From the questions that we have, Choco Crypto asks if you have been on Token 2049, if you've met partners, how do you see the Web3 industry in the near future now that Sony has joined the chat?
Sony, I think the news of Sony joining the game with their chain, that's been wildly underappreciated. That's actually like, how much more bullish can it get for Web3 when companies like Sony join, not just join, because they could have done anything, right? They could have picked a partner and partnered with them and basically run whatever content or tech on their chain. No, they're running their own chain, right? I think this is big. So that's a massive endorsement for Web3. I think the big deciding factor on kind of the pace of adoption in the next months are going to be the US elections, actually. Because if, something bullish happens, and I don't even know what that means nowadays, because apparently Kamala has also caught up in the crypto game, whatever. But as soon as there's clarity there, what's going to happen with the SEC, with Gary Gensler, and so on, that might actually spark a very, very bullish thing going on, right? I think in the US specifically, and this is still the biggest consumer market, yada, 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 the current sentiment around NFTs is so bad, right? And they're basically all securities and you don't want to touch them and so on. This needs to change. And as soon as that changes, really great times are ahead, right? And I think Sony setting a precedent here is awesome, right? This is even better than when Kakao launched Clayton years back, right? And that obviously didn't do that much, and Clayton is not one of the most popular ones. And I also think that probably Sony chain won't be like none of the top 5 chains at the beginning, but that's massive. I think you probably hear some squeaking and screaming.
It's not me.
It's me. It's my kids. I have no idea what they're doing. It sounds like somebody's dying. But
Luckily Out joined Sony joining, Amazon partnering with Wax, bringing Wax dev kits to AWS. We're just early.
Yeah, I mean, in the light of somebody like Sony launching their chain, obviously the market for blockchains and thereby ecosystems becomes more competitive, right? Now, some people are saying that, hey, this is just the underlying tech. Why do we care so much about it? We do care because it impacts the commercial ability of an ecosystem dramatically, right? So why are meme coins on Solana so popular, but on Wax there aren't? Well, because there's so much more money in Solana. Why is there so much more money in Solana? Because people who got in early and bought Sol for a few dollars, they have made a lot of money. So for them, buying a meme coin for 1 Sol feels really cheap, right? Because they may have bought Sol at $5, and so they're buying meme coins worth $5 in their mind psychologically. If you want to buy meme coins on Wax worth $100, you have to spend $100, and you would probably not even spend the old Wax that you bought at 30 cents. Because that would make the meme coin feel even more expensive. You'd probably just buy the $100 of meme coins straight away and purchase the meme coin with those $100 worth of Wax, right? So there is a bit of a impediment for wax specifically, or for chains where the base token, the native token, hasn't been doing that well in terms of price performance. And this is unfortunate because obviously that's got nothing to do with the community. The community may not be the biggest, but the community is great, right, for wax. There's a lot of good creators, a lot of good content on there, but very little traction for the outside world.
Just taking it back to the previous discussion, Webby states that I don't think a reset is needed. We just need continued growth with better gear and higher MP.
I hear you, Webby. We're on it.
Bringing us back to the questions, Prince Paradox, have you talked to Chain Champs? He has really algorithms and stuff that looks many variables and can spot related accounts and see disingenuous actors.
You brought it up already, and I was asking for an intro. I think that would be great. So if there's any possibility, you could do an intro with on Telegram or so, through Matt or Olga or anyone else. That would be great. We'll talk to them.
Fantastic. Going back to the Sony discussion, I feel like once legal clarity forms, Yosio chains will flourish, being guest-free, user-friendly, and easy to code with lightning fast confirmations. They have everything the next generation of innovation needs. So this brings us the question, Adrian. Where should the innovation go from now on, in your opinion?
Well, the innovation will go where there's the most capital, right?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. People who invest, they will come up, like, or if there's a lot of money invested, there will be innovations. One thing that annoys me to no end, it's crazy, is that despite all the money that's in the EVM space, nobody has come up with solutions for the innovative products that we have on Wax. Like on-chain packs, like blending, and generic dynamic NFTs, and all that stuff that we have here that we're utilizing in Dungeon Master and beyond, where this is amazing stuff, and there is no equivalent to that on EVM chains. And it doesn't have to be on-chain, but there should be a standard. And with all the money that's there, why is that not a thing, right? And we're already considering to port a lot of the functionality that's available to EVM chains, so that we can do similar things that we do on Wax, we can do on Polygon or wherever else. But this is just so much work, and it's so difficult because this was a community effort, right? Nifty Blocks has done a lot of things, and whatever, let's say Wax DAO, NFT Hive, a lot of stuff has been done by Jona and Fabian, the creators of Atomic Hub originally, in Atomic Assets. So a lot of stuff's just there, but it's been built over years and years and improved, and it's not perfect, but improved, right, and iterated over. So it's going to be really hard to replicate anything like that on an EVM chain. So, but that would be so good to have that. That would actually foster a real innovation when you can do more things with your NFTs, right? And there's so much more you can do.
Great. Rising Dragons ask, who can mimic the crying sound of a baby? Adrian or Pedro? I can't. That is... I think the Bernardo makes the best baby sounds, says Luck Me Out. But following up on innovation, where is Pillworks going forward, and how are we positioning to fix our current shortcomings?
Well, I'm trying to figure out kind of where to base the base the, or put the emphasis on the answer. That's why I'm thinking, because for us it's about creating great experiences, right? For us, it's not necessarily about being the most innovative and being kind of doing things as the first company. I think we've done a few of these things in the past, and I think I personally still think they're great, like the Tree Wolves. Like so, that was, as far as I can tell, pretty innovative. Um, the Reverties, for instance. So we would want to do more of that. But overall, it's about creating good experiences and having fun and being able to use the stuff and having a good time, right? Um, so that's what we're going to be focusing on. And then we want to create games that are fun to play, that people want to like stick around with, right? So that's where we're going, right? That's what, and this is where we want to put the emphasis on well, good content, great experiences. So that's when also all the AI things are going to come into play, right? The most important thing for the playmat protocol, for instance, is going to be that there's content that people want to consume, and that's why they actually like share the data or whatever, use AI to train their agents, whatnot, right? Um, so that's the basis of everything, right? And that's also going to propel itself. So I think whatever we've been learning from Dungeon Master for over for 3 years almost, right? That's just invaluable. It's crazy. So that's definitely gonna play a role in how we design things going forward.
I just want to pick up a comment from Meantown Bob. I want to apologize about bringing up the pool distribution in the past. I appreciate your in-depth answer last week, which provided clarity into the actual distribution, and that is one of the reasons the Tavern exists, is so that we can provide depth, answers, realizations, clear doubts, or clear the air to questions that you all might have. So always bring it up in town, Bob. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it, but also no need to apologize. It's all good. Like sometimes, right? Sometimes I'm confused because I cannot possibly know everything that's going on in the company. Sometimes I feel stupid for not knowing, but sometimes I'm also right. like this that other time last week. So and that sometimes also gives me a little bit of a warm feeling that I'm not as dumb as I sometimes feel, because I can't give you all the answers that I would like to give you, or because I don't know, right? And then I have to tell I don't know, and that's not a great feeling generally. So sometimes if I actually know, it feels good.
Adrian, are you human?
No.
Oh my God! Newsflash.
Cyborg.
Look, the out asks if it's safe to assume the barrage of collabs is over until we have all our products where we want them to be. I can take part of the answer here. Lucky out. When we do collabs, we want it to be a two-layered experience. So we want it to be good for us, for our community, but also to be good for the partner. So we want everything to be well done and for us to provide the best so that our partners are interested in doing things with us as much as we are into doing things with them. So right now, it's more of we want to make sure that we're in tip-top shape and make sure that we can provide the correct experience to everyone in the party. And obviously with Ply coming out as well, to make sure that we have all the steps taken care of, instead of just pushing out collab, and having you guys here asking, how is Atomic Hub? How is this on Dungeon Master? How is that? And we don't want also for you guys to feel that we're focusing on the wrong things. At least that's my vision, Adrian. I don't know if you want to add anything.
I'm not sure whether that relates to Tap Monster specifically, because the term barrage seems like this was related to kind of having the partnerships with other Telegram games. Maybe that's that. So whoever here has been playing Tap Monsters, there's been a lack of new things happening, right? Over the last few weeks. And this is not because we're like slacking around and just whatever dancing. but because we've been migrating the game to a different technology stack. And
And it's looking good.
yes, it's still the same game, right? And we were debating whether we want to kind of first launch with only launch it if we have new features in there as well. But we decided no, we will launch the game in the kind of purely one-to-one migrated form, so that we gain experience with kind of running the new game as soon as possible. So that's going to happen this week. And that has basically taken up most of our bandwidth on the Tap Monster side, so that we essentially it also was a lot more complex than we had hoped for, right? So we're basically fixing the final issues, but it's looking good. And then this is going to enable us to pour out a lot more features, and also when we have more features and better gameplay, that's going to open up more potential for partnerships again, right? So in case you're talking about Tap Monsters, I think there's going to be more to come. But yeah, we want them to work, and we didn't want to basically have a new partnership launched and then we relaunch the game a day later or whatever, right? So as soon as we have a stable version and cool gameplay again, there's going to be more of those.
Chucky here asks, there has been talk over the past few weeks about adding things to the Well of Wealth. Will anything happen to the well during this season?
Yes.
Sorry, this jumped out of nowhere. Robot, I see you. Will there be more Corp World Hell stickers in the chest? It's empty and dungeon items own the rights to mint more.
So now we're back to the chest, and there's more things demanded. Interesting point. Corporate World stickers. Is there a demand for those? I mean, why not? We can totally mint more. You might want to discuss that with the creators, but let me check the situation there.
Just following up, look, the outset clarity barrage of collabs was referring to our broad collabs over the past year or two. It felt like a new one was announced every week.
We'll definitely get back to more partnerships. I mean, that's or collabs. We want more of that, for sure.
Yeah, we want to bring more value to the community.
But there's also the thing with play specifically, right? So there's a whole lot of new ground to be covered with play, with the whole AI topic. So there is going to be a lot more that you can expect. But that's going to come fairly kind of concentrated when it starts coming, right? As part of campaigning.
Before going to Robot's question, whilst we're still on the creator stuff, there's a question if there's any of the first wave of DM collections around.
I think that was a reply to, or a reaction to this question, whether corporate world is still around. And on the Slitter sheet, I was saying, is any of them still around? As a few, right? Skunky Chunks is still around, I believe.
Love the name, Skunky Chunks.
So there's a few. So it's sad. I mean, obviously the ultra rare folks, they've launched the game.
Tufu is still rocking.
Yeah, Tufu is still rocking. But it's sad that some of the collections, some of them have had great art, right, or great concepts, and they're not around anymore. And I understand, but I would really hope that more people would still be up and doing stuff. So kudos to all the creators who have sustained the last 3-4 years, more like 2-3 years of drought since the peak in basically 3 years ago, November 2021. and are still around and doing stuff. When I sometimes see the what's this called, Wax? There's a calendar, an Excel, Google spreadsheet for Wax drops and promos and so on. When I look at this, sometimes I feel like, oh my god, there's so many things going on. Why is nobody paying attention, right? So this is really sad that nobody outside of the Wax space is paying attention. But there's a lot of cool stuff actually going on.
Going now to robot, and it's a big one. Not sure if asked or suggested in the past. Could you imagine integrated Polygon, EOS, IMX, NFTs as one-play rewards, and for one-buck sets? 3 players can set the reward chain, and some quest might give NFTs on the chain. The user selected in their setting. They give NFTs on the chain the user selected in their settings. On some chains, EOS or Poly, users would need to claim the NFT and pay gas, RAM fees. This would give more flexibility for DM players and one-play game partners. Also, it could upgrade the one-play, one-bucks functionality. God.
This is a really good idea. It's so you basically choose the settlement layer for your NFTs, for the rewards that you want to get, right? So this is like being able to bridge them over or whatever, right? Or it's even better actually. Wow, cool. It's just that this is really, really. I'm not saying complex. It's probably also complex. There's some complexity to it, but it's a lot of work for sure to do that. Because then obviously you would want to be able to stake them in Dungeon Master, so you need to make sure that there's an association between the collections, and the mining power would be the same, probably, or not, which is even worse. So whoa, I'm just seeing like me being the old, having been a developer but having also been a product guy perspective, trying to balance these two things in my mind. I'm seeing a lot of the problems that this would come with. So it feels a little scary to even suggest that, but it's definitely a cool idea. We have to do something about that, right? Because it's like we've had a discussion with the team today about NFTs and Wombat, Gamer Cave, among others, and what to do with NFTs and how much emphasis to put on NFTs. And I personally think the NFTs and Wombat and OnePlay, they are great, and we should emphasize more on them, and give them more utility and more ways of obtaining them and more ways of using them and yada yada yada. And then you're always faced with the question, where do we mint them? How do we use them? Right, and then there's certain things you can do with NFTs and one of the examples is blending, right? So in order to achieve parity between what you can do with your NFTs that you get on Wax, like Gamer Cave. Let's imagine we would mint Gamer Cave on Polygon without having blending, then they're totally useless. So how do you do that, right? So you actually need blending. So there you go, right? It's complex. It's a lot of work. Anyway, don't want to stretch that out too long. It's hard.
It's hard. From Puzzle Puzzler, Adrian, you said a couple of weeks ago that you might be interested in coming to Wolftopia on November 23rd, 24th. So just a friendly reminder that the whitelist needs to be filled out in order to buy the NFT on October 9th to get a booth. Thank you.
Ooh, I think didn't you send me a Twitter DM as well about that? Well, I'll have a look. Thanks. Something.
Lucky Out asks, any plans to move OnePlay away from EOS chain and breach assets to Wax or Polygon, and or any plans to update OnePlay content and functions?
Yes. So that kind of ties into the discussion that Robert started, right? We had plans to basically move all the NFTs to Polygon a while ago, right? It does come with a little bit of a drawback because minting NFTs on Polygon is still a little more expensive than it is on on Wax. So we would have to kind of see whether we can distribute the same number of NFTs that we do on Wax right now. But the bigger issue is that we don't have all the gamification options with it, like blending, like packs, like on-chain RNG, like whatever else you might want to use, right? I think blending is kind of the biggest. So yeah, that would be good. So this would probably go similarly to what we did when we moved from EOS to Wax, that some parts might stay there for kind of old functionalities, so we don't have to move everything around, but we would have to rethink our concepts for NFT collections that we drop, right? So that's one thing. So it's yes, that's something that we would consider, but we don't have a kind of fully fledged, this is how we're going to do it. With OnePlay, OnePlay is a bit of a legacy, and we wanted, originally the idea was to shut OnePlay down, right? After we had integrated all the functionality into Wombat. Now OnePlay is still around, and it's not a great product, right? Because it hasn't been maintained that well, but also the overall way it was built is not screaming for, hey, let's expand this, right? So what OnePlay would probably look like would be an entire relaunch, right? So if I talk to the tech folks about, hey, let's do, should I put this out? Let's do a port of OnePlay, right? Let's have a Telegram version of OnePlay, right? So that's cool. That would be cool. That would be really cool, actually. But then the tech team would say, I hope they're watching, because I have the most respect for them, obviously. They would probably say, hey, Adrian, we would probably have to rewrite all of OnePlay in order to, or pretty much all of OnePlay in order to basically make that happen. It's like, okay. So let's think about kind of how can we make, could we make maybe a lightweight version of OnePlay? But yes, this might actually spark a rework of OnePlay and as a more modern version, because essentially OnePlay has turned 4 a few weeks ago. OnePlay is 4 years old.
Wow. Congratulations, OnePlay. Happy birthday.
Belated.
Belated. From Carlo, OnePlay's items, EOS, has many NFTs. Tasty Talent NFT, Chess Universe, and others that are no longer distributed from the 50,000 $1 chest. What will happen to these NFTs?
So we had a similar question last week, right? Can't you just put them into the chest again? And the answer is no, we can't just put them into the chest again, because the chest, not everyone has an EOS account, and well, the problem that it's mixing pre-minted NFTs with live mint NFTs is not actually a real issue, because we can do that, but like mixing the EOS with the Wax stuff, that's not great. So we will be raffling them out, I guess, but the question is how.
Ooh, mechanics. Speaking of $1, can we make sure that one bonus for holding sets make like automatic at midnight or something? I can't seem to get to the page anymore on my iPhone since the last major update to Wallet.
Well, this is a problem.
Do you want me to send it to the Wombat team?
Yeah, maybe. If you can't log into to OnePlay on your iPhone anymore, this is a problem. Well, the sets, we've been discussing this a lot, right? With an auto claim button or whatever, claiming that automatically. We will have to do something about it. There is a substantial amount of $1 being farmed by set holders, right? So right now we're considering what to do, and because this is basically taking away a lot of rewards without actually providing a lot of value to anyone, right? Because basically people holding the NFTs or maybe sending them around back and forth, farming a lot of Wombucks like this. So this basically dilutes the value of the Wombucks, right? So basically they're taking away value from everybody else. So we're thinking about kind of what is the right way of dealing with these NFTs, right? Because we don't want to devalue them by kind of stopping the rewards entirely, but at the same time we need to find a solution for the misuse, whatever, right? But also the overall inflation in Wombucks. So because they're only used by a small portion of users, right? Because we don't even have new NFTs there. So this is also a bit of a legacy thing. So yeah, we really need to consider that, and we're having discussions about it.
Fantastic. As we're approaching the end of the stream, 5 minutes to go. It's been a long one. Are there any major questions that anyone wants to ask Adrian before the Twitchy Tides?
So you're looking forward to that, right?
Of course, I have it now. I want to see it in action.
Me too, actually. It's way too rare that people use it and poop. So even if
First of all, I just want to see the effect because I have no idea.
Right, you don't. Just setting up my Twitchy Tights. So I also, when looking at this, okay, I'll get.
I might need to take some vacation days now that Metaphor Refantasio is almost coming out, and I really want to play it.
Mad what?
Metaphor Refantasio is a game from Atlas, from a division of Sega on JRPGs. I've played all the Persona games, and this is the new one in the series, and I'm really excited for it. You sound old. It's like one of those comments that you read. You sound old.
So okay, I have Twitchy Tights open.
Yes.
So please join. Oh, you're first. This is embarrassing. And look, Shiba Seeker.
Oh, we have 2 poopers. Let's go.
What did we hand out last time? Was it
promo? It was a promo boxes and with 1,000 wombats to if anyone was using the skin. Since I was using it, I gave mine to, I don't remember the name, but it was the winner of the series.
Yeah, I remember. I'm just thinking what we could give out today to the first pooper, because now today we have competition, even if it's very sparse. Look, Mocha Twitcher is there as well.
Yeah, it was Mocha Twitcher.
Mocha Twitcher, you and
someone wants my keyboard. My keyboard is a Ducky. I love Ducky keyboards. They're 60% form factor, super cool to write in. They're all moddable, and they make the clickety clacks. I love the clickety clacks.
Why do you want that noise in your life?
Because it reminds me of my grandfather. He used to write a lot on typewriters, and I like it. But I do keyboard reviews for a Portuguese Medium, so I get like 50 keyboards here. I'm always switching around. Last one I did was the Huntsman from Razer. Very good.
I have an idea. Because we still have old packs. We have old promo packs and stuff on the Wombat promo account. So, for instance, okay, I would say whoever poops first will get a promo pack, a season 2 promo pack. Season 2 promo pack. Because we still have a few of those. We need to get rid of them. So the top 5 players will get their promo boxes. But we'll raffle out a season 2 promo pack to the first pooper. So
Beantown Bob, that is a beautiful keyboard. Just
we might do that next week again. So you should upgrade your wombats, and this is some kick-ass value to get, like the old stuff. Season 2 promo pack.
Jesus.
We can only do that because we have some competition here.
You need to get rid of packs. Want my wallet? I love free stuff.
Yeah. Everyone wants that stuff, right? I mean, I like it as well.
We're reaching 50 players. Just one more.
50 is definitely the bare minimum. Come on, folks! Exclamation mark wombat.
There it is.
If you don't know how to join, just type exclamation mark wombat.
We have reached 52.
52. So, do we have time to go for a normal one?
It's up to you.
Nah, we'll still go for fast, but we need some serious pooping action here. Okay.
Poopers with exclamation point whoop poop ready in the chat.
1 hour of Twitchy Tides. Yeah, no, that's slow. Normal takes a bit
I could
long.
go make my dinner for 1 hour of Twitchy Tides.
No, but you need to be there and poop all the time, right? But okay, let's get this going. I will count down from 5 before I start so that you can time your poops. And Pedro, you need to type exclamation mark poop in order to poop, right?
I am ready.
That's the way you do it. So yeah, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh, where's the poop? There's one. Mocha Twitcher is getting the cool promo pack. We had 3 poops at the same time. How awesome is that? That synchronous poop. So we already
What is
lost
the cooldown on the abilities?
It should tell you when you type it that.
Let's go for it. Try another one. 4.78 seconds. Ooh, maybe we'll see double poop.
Mocha Twitcher is already on the second poop.
There I go. Look at me go.
Where are all the enemies?
Yeah. I think we bugged the game.
It's like nobody's dying here. What the hell's going on?
Literally nobody's dying. There's no enemies appearing. I think we broke it.
Well, Paragon, if you're here, it's broken.
There's literally nothing.
Well. So we're sitting at 24.
For quite some time.
Is there anything I can do here? Well, that doesn't change anything, right?
It was so much poop that the game couldn't handle it.
This just looks hilarious. Okay. Anything else that we can do here?
I
I'll-
think we'll have to reset.
hang
This
on,
is a
and,
bug for sure.
uh,
The Rising Dragon's saying RE revive enemies.
oh, there we go.
That was a killing. Am I still alive?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yes, you're there.
Oh yes, I'm pooping.
you caught a bunch. So oh yeah, there we go. This corresponds more to a fast round.
Oh my god, I've never been so in the end. This pooping thing really works.
Yes, you made it.
Oh my god, I'm
No,
gonna
you
win.
actually won.
This has never happened. Yes.
Whoa. Okay, you're not getting a prize. People will say it's rigged because it was
Oh my
rigged.
god.
Right? It was rigged.
I've never won. I've never even been top 5.
Wow. So GG's there.
People are celebrating with me because they know this win is real.
I mean,
Son,
you decide.
be
You
proud of
decide.
me.
You decide who you want to donate the promo box to.
Oh, I'll just take myself off the list. So it's Box Desu is the first, and the 5th is Misty 0121.
That's what you want to do. No, you can get it and then you distribute it to somebody else.
Oh, I can just give it out.
So now I need. Oh yeah.
Box Desu is like, no, it's mine.
Who was first? Was it Mocha Twitcher?
Mocha Twitcher, yes, last time.
No, who was first pooping?
First pooper. Oh, I think it was Mocha Twitcher. I don't remember. I was too focused.
Was
on
it
my own
Mocha?
pooping.
It was not you. It was Mocha Twitcher or Shiba Seeker.
I think it was Mocha Twitcher.
So what we're gonna do is so shall I send? Okay, whatever. We'll do that.
I'm happy. This has been the best stream for me so far.
I know.
I'm gonna take a print of this. Hell, I'm putting this in my office.
So what I'm gonna do is we'll have a season 2 promo pack sent to both Shiba Seeker and Mocha Twitcher.
That is reasonable. Congratulations.
So GG's here. Yeah, I mean it's got to be worth something to have the rare skin, right? So
Rising Dragons is saying when Mad won, he gave away packs to top 10.
But the difference was Matt called it. he said, if I win, the top 10 players will get right. And he actually did win, right? So next time, Pedro, call it and put out some crazy rule that if you win, there's going to be free NFTs for everyone or something like that.
Top 50.
Poop, there it is. Poop, there it is.
Well, guys, thank you for keeping us company.
So,
for your questions.
last question is who are we rating today?
That is always an interesting proposition.
Any suggestions? I don't really want to scroll through the list because it's totally useless. I mean, my suggestions are like, what the hell?
Yeah, mine aren't better.
Could as well
Mine
not get
are-
anything. Just
Well, yeah, we can do a raidless stream for once.
no. That's
Bending the
outrageous. Come on, folks. Give me some crowdsourced rating suggestions. You don't want to go on whatever. Exactly. You don't want to go on whatever.
Charmin HD suggests Prince Paradox. That is outrageous. That was great, being Tom Bob.
So Charmin. So I have no problem with NFT dealer, of course, but I like rating a new person every once in a while. So what's up with Charmin HD? Playing Meta Battler right now. That is cool, right? So let's rate Charmin HD.
There it is. That is the session.
Okay, then enjoy. Say hello to Charmin HD. And have a good rest of the week, or start into the week, or whatever. And see you next week. Thank you
See
all.
you guys, and as always, I'll see you on chat.
Bye bye. Right now.
Do, 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 do.